Okay, in this video we're going to look at properties of parabolas, and you should have studied parabolas in Algebra 1. We're going to look at the basic ones currently. We're going to look at the most basic of basic, y equals x squared. Assuming it has a squared variable there, it's a quadratic. Okay, so if you started plugging in some values of x into y equals x squared, you will see that you're going to get these y values. If you plug in -3 squared is 9, -2 squared is 4, -1 squared is 1, 0 gets you 0, 1 gets you 1, 2 gets you 4, 3 gets you 9. And once you had some x and y values, you'd be able to go ahead and plot them. So -3, 1, 2, 3, we'd be up here at 9. So you get that point there. At -2, you'd be at +4. At -1, you'd be at +1. Okay. At 0, you'd be at 0. At 1, you'd be at 1. At 2, you'd be at 4. And at +3, you'd be at 9. And you get this parabola. Okay. Then, if you would put a negative in front of your x squared, well, you would end up getting the exact same y values for both of these. The only difference is these y values were positive and all of these y values are negative. So all of these values here just become negative. And so what will happen is in your graph, all these positive y values would then all move down to their negative value, which would just flip the parabola upside down. Okay? So in this particular lesson, we are going to look at the parabolas, and then all parabolas have what's called an axis of symmetry. And what an axis of symmetry is, it's an imaginary line that runs through the center. It goes right through the lowest point in this case. The lowest point there is called the vertex. And the axis of symmetry is a vertical line here. This is the axis of symmetry. Okay? And what happens is if this point here is 3 over on this side, then over here you'd have another point that's 3 over on that side. Okay? So whatever you do on one side, if we bring over 2, if we go 2 over to get to this point, then this point over here would also be 2 over. Okay? And you can see that from the chart here. This point here is your vertex, but then you can notice that on each side of that vertex, the y values pair up. Okay? And that happens because it opens up on each side, and these open up in pairs. This is a pair, a pair, a pair, and it opens up on each side. So when you're looking at a table of values, you really always want to put your vertex in the middle, and then you should see a pairing occur in your table for all the remaining points. Okay? In the next video, I'm going to cover vertex form of a parabola, and we're going to figure out what the values A, H, and K represent.